SwoleBenji here. I wanted to talk to you about mounts and my favorite mounts, the mounts that you should be using, and mounts that suck and you shouldn't waste time on, you shouldn't even waste a subscription on. Let's just get right into it. But real quick, I just want to cover a couple mounts, the basic horse and the ox. Okay, so everyone knows that you start the game out with the mule. You get it in Tutorial Island. Alright, the mule sucks. It has like 238 HP. It only gallops at 80% speed. Generally, if you're out in like the red or black zone with this thing, you're just a free kill. You're just free money. Alright, but with that said, you graduate to the riding horse. This is generally what you'll use to travel around the red and black zones if you're just doing whatever, right? Okay. And if you're a gatherer, you'll generally use oxes, or if you're transporting goods for long distances. Everyone knows this basic stuff. The horse and the ox, I don't even need to show you. These are your basic starter mounts. You'll buy these from the market if you're brand new. Just buy them from the market. But let's get into the more fancy pants mounts, okay? In no particular order at all. All right. One of my favorite mounts for transporting, even in dangerous zones, is the Grizzly Bear. The Grizzly Bear it's my favorite. This is my favorite mount for faction fighting as well. The Grizzly Bear, man, is it a beast. It's got 3,500 HP. It only runs at 75%, okay? But when you get hit, it does get a little speed boost sometimes. It's got huge amounts of armor, but it's got this cool aura that reduces enemies' damage by 70%. It looks like this. And the reason you want to use this in faction fights, like, not red zone stuff, obviously, but like yellow zone stuff, because this tags all of the players. This will tag all of the players with this aura, which means you get kill credit when they die, which means you get more faction points. And also for transporting, or like, I wear this when I go dungeon farming sometimes, because like on the way back home, there'll be like 10 gankers from Limhurst, and they're just standing on a bridge. I can ride through 10 gankers all with Grailseeker's claws, frost stabs, you know, etc. And this bear is huge and massively tanky, right? It took over 10 players, you know, in a gank group, like, all of their cooldowns to get the bear down to half health. So the bear, it's a little pricey. It's $1 million right now. I think it goes up to $2 million towards the end of the year, but essentially, this thing, you can get it from being a subscriber on certain months. The bear mount is great, so just get a bear mount, alright? The bear mounts are awesome. Alright, so now, here's a mount you should use for, in my opinion, gathering in the red or black zones is the Stag, alright? These things actually went down in price a lot from last year. They don't have a lot of health, but they do have a good amount of carry weight, and they gallop in 2 seconds, right? So what that means is, when you stand still, what a gallop is, if this will wear off, you gotta be moving for 2 seconds, and then you'll break out into your speed boost, right? There is a better version called the Moose, but they're expensive, so I wouldn't even pay for a Moose for Black Zone content at all. But essentially, use a Stag if you're gathering in the Red Zone or Black Zone. Alright, so here is the fastest mount in the game, bar none. Yes, there are Panthers and the Rage Claw that are pretty quick too, but this mount, 85% base speed and 132% gallop speed, but it's got this cool ability, Hunting Instinct, which makes your movement speed by 90%. So here's the cool thing with it, right? If you wait right before you're galloping, you press F, now you're going faster and you're galloping, so that's 132 plus 90, and man, this thing is fast. Now here's the thing, when this ability goes off cooldown, you become slow, but there's a way to circumvent that, right? So I'm about to go slow. Boop. Just press A and then left click your mount, and the buff or the debuff goes away, and you can return back to your regular 85% into 132%. This is the mount that you want to use to get to faction fights faster. I use this in conjunction with the bear, so I can get to the front lines way faster. This is an expensive mount. It's a Christmas mount, 700k right now. It might go up, it might go down, but this is definitely a mount that you want to have in your stash at some point. Now, the next mount is pretty cool to have. It's the Pest Lizard. You can also use this in Faction Warfare. The cool thing about the Pest Lizard is it has a lot of health, it's pretty armored, and it always moves at 110% speed. So you can run through packs of enemies, and you will never go slower than this, alright? Now, there is a Guccier version, right? and that is the Avalonian Basilisk. I don't recommend any of you guys actually buy the Avalonian Basilisk. Okay, so the Pest Lizard is like $1 million right now. I think it's a November mount. The Avalonian Basilisk is the same thing, but it runs at 115%, and it costs 20 million. So you're paying 20 million to go 5% faster than a lizard. I just like this thing because it looks cool. This is, in my opinion, the coolest looking mount in the game, and it sparkles. So this is just luxury, all right? This is just being a big chat on a big mount, right? Now, the next one, and this is my favorite for yellow zone bullying. This is also if you're rich and you want to be a ganker in like the red or black zones, is the Raven. These things are pretty cheap. They're only 300,000. I know that doesn't sound cheap, but it's really cool to play a flying mount, okay? You can't fly over the hills or nothing. Like, see, I can't get over this. So you're just aesthetically flying, all right? But if you find a dismounted player and you run up next to them and use this ability, check out the rabbit. That rabbit is running for its life. What that will do to a player is push them outside the range of their mount. So when you're dismounted, you see the circle? When you exit the circle, the mount disappears. So let's say I'm a player and I'm picking some cotton and a guy rides up and uses the crow to fear me. So I'm like, I'm running away. And then my mount's despawned. While me, the player, the crow player, you know, I just despawned someone, so I'm going to immediately dismount and begin combat, and that's how you gank a player. And it's only 300k. It's pretty quick at 130% gallop, but it's a very weak mount. 405 health, okay? So you can get dismounted from this pretty dang easily, right? All right, so that's the Morgana Raven, yeah. Now, here is my favorite gathering mount in the entire game, all right? For just gathering in the yellow zone is the Ghost Boar, all right? So this thing can hold 1,203 kilograms, which may not sound like too much compared to an ox, but you get this carry weight when it is despawned, okay? So you will never be overweight. Also, at the same time, let's say I wanted to gather this stone here, but there's a mob nearby, and the mob is hitting me, and I can't gather the stone. Well, I can turn invisible, and then Joe Schmo over here gathering this node will get the mob aggro, and he'll be being attacked. Then I could take both nodes for myself. And that's why I like the Ghost Boar. These things are, this is actually next month's mount. I believe this is the mount in July. Right now it's at 2 million. It can go up to 3 million sometimes, I believe. Yeah, so that's my favorite gathering mount. All right. So the Panther, if you don't have a Husky, the Panther is pretty dang good. 127% run speed. It's got this Predator sprint. It also looks cool. If you have black armor, you can match the Panther. It's just a cool mount. It's not too expensive. It's almost $1 million. But it's just a better Swiftclaw. I wouldn't bring this out to dangerous zones, but you can get pretty quick with it. And the ability doesn't cancel your gallop, so you don't have to worry about timing your gallop with your sprint if you're lazy. This is the lazier version of the Husky, guys. You don't have to dismount to get rid of cooldowns. You can just turn on auto run. I got auto run on. I'm just gonna press F, and okay, well it did get rid of the sprint. So never mind that part. You gotta time your sprint. But yeah, there you go. It's the Panther. It's cool. It makes a cool sound. Speaking of cool sounds, I want to tell you something else about the Husky. Oops, wrong stash. I want to tell you something else about the Husky, and this is just a... Hey, there we go. Let me mount up, and I will show you in 30 seconds, apparently. Let's see, that's pretty, well, there's a couple more I want to talk about too. We're almost done with the video, guys. There's not a lot of mounts. I'm not going to show you every mount in the game because I don't think a lot of them are good. World PvPers really like the Frost Ram because it has an immunity jump. I don't have one. I don't World PvP. I don't go out in the red zones and try to kill people because I just get outnumbered every single time. Maybe one day, maybe not, who knows. Just stay tuned to the channel. Anyway, let me show you the most interesting thing to do with the Husky. You find a large group of players that you can easily agitate, and you spam your F button and your movement button. So, listen to this. Other players can hear this. You can do this at the auction house, you can do this at the markets, you can do this in very crowded areas. And you can probably do it way faster too with like a macro or something, but essentially, you get a bunch of friends and you can just have like a big howling, you just howl, I don't know. Isn't that annoying? Isn't that fun? So, alright, next mount, guys. Next mount, alright. Battle mount. This is the Crystal Behemoth. Any behemoth works. The reason I like this mount, and yes, battle mounts do take a while to mount up. You can't use these when you're faction flagged. These things, like, not only does it look absolutely cool, but this thing, you can gank players with this, alright? So the Q ability drops, and I don't have armor on, so I don't really have mana, but it drops a big old barrel, and that's going to catch people on fire, give them a damage over time, and that takes a percentage of their health every single time, right? And you can stack it 3 times. I can literally follow people around and then dump barrels on them until they get knocked down. Also, you move at 120% speed, by the way. Battle mounts have a lot of health, 9,870. They have a lot of armor, and I can move at 120% speed. Now, the problem with a battle mount is the second I get hit in this mode, I slow down immediately, like to nothing, like this. So if you don't have a backup mount to swap to if you get downed, players can actually kind of hold you down until they break all your gear if you're not good, right? But the other abilities, you have this one, which will just fling barrels all around you. It knocks players away. That way, if they're, attacking you and you can't shake them, that will knock them all the way across the screen for you to escape. Now, this one drops a big line of slowing goop. So if players try to go through this tar, they get slowed down. You can use that to hold players to dump barrels onto them. You can also use it to escape. And that's why this is my favorite trolling battle mount, alright? So let's talk about just a few other mounts real quick. And this one is the Crystal Int. This one is a support mount. You can increase the amount of healing people receive. You can also increase or reduce the cast times. And you can also knock back players and slow them. But the reason I like this mount is it's the flashiest mount. This is the mount that you go into the middle of town and you just get a bunch of attention. Like, here's the W spell. It's just a big old circle. And you do like a little tree dance. And it's got some music playing. You hear it? Like nature music. It's soothing. I could turn up the sound, I guess. Here, let's turn up the sound. Game's about to get loud, guys. You hear that? It's like birds and nature and stuff. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. You can also put these little trees on the ground. The little tree pops out. People will want to step on it. It's kind of cool. And then you could dump a big old line of brambles, okay? It's just a really flashy, cool mount to have. It's also 120% speed. It looks kind of ridiculous when it's galloping around because it's literally a tree. I don't know. I like chopping trees in games. I like to have the tree mount. I don't know. I'm weird, okay? That's the tree mount. Now let me talk about the shitty, crappy, awful mounts that you shouldn't ever use. We'll start off with the Divine Owl. I don't even know if this is available anymore, but it's pretty cheap. I think it's, what, 400k? This mount sucks because it only has 405 HP. It's not really that fast. Its ability makes it where you need to get hit to increase your move speed. It only gives you 220 damage shield. Alright, you get a little shield. I mean, it's cool that it's a flying mount, right? But it's just kind of weird. I don't know. I think the color contrast with my character and the owl doesn't work. I mean, I got the white undies, but it just doesn't work. It's not that good. Now, this is another meme mount I just want to go over real quick, and that is the Heretic Combat Mule. This is funny to shoot people with, alright? So what it does, it's a little awkward to use, and it's a fast mount. It has a fast, gallop. It's got an okay amount of health. It's got some carry weight on it. It's alright, but essentially you point the gun, and it's going to shoot you the opposite direction. So if I want to shoot this bunny, bam, right? Now, it used to shoot a cannonball, at least on the test realm a long time ago. Now it just blasts the ground. So we gotta get a little closer if we want to hurt the bunny. I don't think it hurts anymore. No, it just knocks them back and slows them. So it doesn't even, it doesn't do damage anymore. Or maybe I'm mistaking it with something else. But whoop. Anyway, that's the donkey. It's just a little combat mule, right? Little meme mount. Alright, other mounts that suck. Okay, you got the bat. The reason the bat sucks, it's got 430 HP, that's it. Alright, it is pretty quick. It's got a quick gallop, like 132%. Not better than the Husky, but it's still, it's okay. It does have the cool blink ability, so you just like teleport forward, and it makes that really loud screechy noise. That's all it's really got. It also, if you bloodlust, it turns the bat red. So that's another cool thing. Or if you get the red shrine buff and you go to the world map, you'll have a red bat. So that's a cool thing about the bat. But other than that, that's really about it. And then finally, this thing used to be the fastest mount in the game, but they nerfed the heck out of it. This is just the, what is this, it's Terror Bird. Saddled Terror Bird, right? It's not a good mount. The Elite Terror Bird is way better. That's the Bridgewatch mount. And yeah, I know people want me to talk about the faction mounts. This thing, its ability makes you go fast, only 100%. It used to be 300%. This thing got nerfed into the dirt. Okay, it's just a worthless, crappy mount. Don't ever use it. So real quick, faction mounts. I don't own them, but let me just show you real quick. You can click here on your Destiny board, and you can see what the faction mounts do. Okay. Also, I'm not going to cover Transport Mammoth. That just gives you a ton of weight you can carry. That's all it is. My favorite ganking mount in the game is the Elite Terror Bird. You can only use its ability when you're faction flagged, which means you can only gank other factions. But essentially, it dismounts you and gives you 40% move speed. This lets you chase down mounted players and dismount them. It's great. I love it. All right. Now, a lot of transporters use the Winter Bear. This thing is super, super tanky. I would say it's tankier than the Grizzly Bear. But, you know, I don't have one, and they're expensive. They're like 3 million. Dang. The Wild Boar, not my favorite. The Ram ain't my favorite either. The Swamp Salamander, not really that good. The Grey Wolf, not that good. And here's the Gucci mount, the Rage Claw. It's basically just the Panther with a better movement speed ability. That's it. That's all it is. And it costs you nearly 20 million. The Bone Horse just goes invisible. It sucks. And the Nightmare is just a better version of the Morgana Raven because it leaves a burning fiery trail, which when touches enemies, they flee from you. That's it. That's basically the mounts. The Dire Bear is just a Grizzly Bear without the aura ability. Armored horses don't have carry weight, and you get dismounted easily on these things anyway. Yeah, they have some armor and a little bit extra health, but you're still getting dismounted from a gank group. There's really no reason to use an armored horse. It's just a waste of money. Anyway, I'm SwoleBenji. Thanks for watching. As always, be bro and stay swole. And I just sold a lumberjack work boots. Very cool. Silly me, I was digging through my chest and I couldn't find my boots, so I just bought new ones thinking the game glitched out. But they were in the chest. I was just blind. I didn't see them. Like the video and leave a comment, and that is a algorithm combo. It really helps out. Also, 80% of you aren't subscribed, so hit that subscribe button. If you decide later you don't like me, you can unsubscribe. It's completely free. Just subscribe right now, and then decide later if you don't want to subscribe or not, okay? As always, be a bro, stay swole. Make sure you return your shopping carts, and I'll see you in the next one.